What is kind of the first step? Do you have like kind of like a basic outline of what you're trying to accomplish the first, one or two times that you see a guy?
Yeah, so that's a great question because I think a lot of people kind of get this. I think people kind of mix it up. They see a guy and you're excited to working with him and you want to make the change, and that's great. But you have to kind of let the play develop. Give it a time to develop, see what's going on. So the first time, I observe and I ask questions and I like to watch. But the first instance I'm working with the guy, it's usually not like, all right, we're going to get down in here, I'm going to put you in my system, or we're going to get on a knee, or we're going to put your arm. I'm not making a ton of changes. Like, let's see where you excel, let's see where your weak areas are, and then we can address, each of those, try to make your strength stronger and bring up the weaknesses. So that's the first thing I'd say is let the player kind of tell you what they need to work on, and then with your own eyes, see if you agree with them. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. All players sometimes, I think pitchers are guilty of this, but catchers as well. Sometimes guys think they're, blocking is my best. I don't throw as well, but blocking is my best quality, and then I'm a receiver. And sometimes you watch them and you're like, well, I think we might need to reverse the order of a couple of these. But I want to get their thoughts and their opinion. I think one of my main coaching philosophies is I want guys to be bought into the program. So I think there's absolutely a time and a place for, hey, this is set in stone, we need to do this. But I also like to get the players' feedback. Hey, what do we need to work on today? You're at the games, you're at practice, you see what you're doing. Which areas are you struggling in? And then we can address that. So with that said, I know that's a long answer to a short question. But so I want to get feedback from them first with my eyes and with my ears. And then from that, just starting and seeing how they move. I think that's a big one. You can talk about the stances, but really just how do they move? Are they stiff? Are they loose? Are they athletic? Are they quick? Are they strong? Slow? And then once we kind of understand what kind of mover they are, then I think we can start to incorporate, different, whether it be receiving, blocking, or throwing, different drills that might be a little more tailored for them.
Yeah, for sure. The foundation is so important, whether that is making any changes or anything. It's really just getting them to understand what's the philosophy and what we're trying to do. And I think that's the problem with a lot of coaching these days is like, when we say, hey, our philosophy on our stances are, we need to be centered, we need to be balanced, we need to be connected to the ground. Now, for you, that's something, and for the next guy, that's a different stance, or but there's got to be some sort of base to it. Like, hey, when we start talking about receiving, here's the goal to receiving, how do we control the ball and not let the ball control us? That's the only real philosophy in the beginning we have. And I think too many times guys are quick to make adjustments and not enough to really focus on what are you trying to teach them? What's the why behind it? And that's why I tell our guys, I'm like, number one, you got to understand what I'm teaching you. So if you don't get it, you got to stop me and say, hold on, bro, I don't get it. Like, explain this to me so that you understand it. Because at the end of the day, we've got to have them be able to coach themselves when we're not there. It can't just be the like, hey, Zan, I had a shitty week, man. Like this happened and this happened, this happened. What the hell was going on? We got to lay the foundation to be like, hey, when this does happen, what do I do? When this happens, what's the adjustment and things like that? And again, like you said it perfectly, it's different for each individual guy. And so when you start to see them, whatever the intro of stances and moving and things like that, we obviously going to move into receiving. What's kind of that first discussion on receiving that you're talking with guys?
First thing is going to be let's be centered. Let's be centered. Let's be strong in our base. Let's make sure we're balanced, then we can move. So like most guys right now, I think one knee down is it's pretty widely accepted as at least among catching guys, it's widely accepted as
people in the industry widely accept it. Yes,
yeah. People understand that it can definitely be beneficial. At the younger ages, there's still you get different things, but it's the way of the future. It really is. It's what guys are doing well right now. Guys are having tons of success with it. So that's where we kind of start. I always like to ask them, hey, what have you been from 2 feet in a traditional stance, or are you in a knee down stance? And then a lot lot of the younger guys, they have no idea, and it's not their fault. But why would you be in a left knee down stance? Why would you be in a right knee down stance? What are the differences between being a kickstand and a more compact stance? So I think getting them to have a strong base, being in the right stance for them, and again, the right stance for me might be different than the right stance for you because of hip mobility or ankle issues or whatever it is. But getting them in a stance where they can be strong and they can attack the ball and be quick. So that's kind of number one for me. Number two is, can we be patient enough to stay underneath the ball to attack it at the bottom of the zone? I think that's one of the hardest things for the young guys or the guys that are newer to it. For the longest time, you caught the ball and you stuck it, and we didn't really manipulate it and work under it and through it. And so most guys, when you start trying to do that, we go up and then we go down and we have a two-piece move. So it's really getting them to wait. And the thing that I think of is like the Braveheart. When Braveheart's on the line, they're like, hold, and then they finally attack. For me, a catcher, the same thing. We can have our pre-pitch move, and it's wait, and then at the last second make a one-piece move. So that's one of the things that I really try to work on with them. My favorite drill for that is it's super simple, but it's just a bounce drill. I think you see it in almost every bullpen in a pregame routine. If you're doing a camp circuit, a bounce drill should absolutely be part of it. But just to help guys, stay low, stay underneath the ball, so that they don't, rush or hesitate once they get their mitt up.
If you enjoyed that, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll have a new episode for you every single Tuesday here on our YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts.